Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and we are back at the desk because we are looking at something nice and closely, and this is the best way to do it. Yes, we are looking at this, and if you don't know what this is an official thing. This is the Hori D-pad Joy-Con. In fact, I've got a box somewhere. I'll go and grab it. Here we are for all the naysayers. This is the thing itself, and obviously it's a Japanese import. We've imported it for just this sort of purpose, because it looked quite interesting, and it's officially licensed and everything. Although that looked like a sticker, but it isn't. Yeah, it's the real deal basically. The only thing is, it is limited. It is well, it's not actually manufactured by Nintendo. And if you look there, can you see those aren't actual buttons because this is not wireless. Oh, incidentally, if you're wondering what this bit of thing is, it's just the microphone stand. So don't worry about that. So that means you can only use this thing in handheld mode. You cannot use it in any other mode. And I've had a bit of a go with it, and it seems to work quite well. It's not manufactured quite as well as the standard Joy-Con, but even so, you know, it's pretty good. It's interesting. The only really weird thing is this. Really nasty. Was it that? No, it's these are rubberized. These are rubber. It's not the same, is what I'm trying to say. So I thought, well, would it be possible to essentially turn this into one of these, but more importantly, with one of these? Yes, can you turn this into a fully fledged wireless Joy-Con just by swapping the guts out? So that's what we're going to look at today. So this yellow one can get out of the way. I just need to get my tools, and we're going to go through it together, because why not? If at one point I do need to, hang on. If at one point I do sort of do a jump cut or... Hang on. Okay, there's a difference there. It's not tri-wing screws, so I'm not going to need this bit. I'm going to need... Oh God, hang on. I'm going to need another bit, and I don't know which one. I could... Well, this is a disaster. Tell my phone to shut up, and we should be... Let's find the right bit. I think probably that one. Let's pop that over there. And see whether we can get on with this and actually open this thing up. I imagine it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I've opened plenty of Joy-Con before, so there we go. Oh, actually, these aren't actually as deeply set as normal Joy-Con, which is fine by me. Oh dear, there's not something holding it in, is there? I've seen people have already opened these up, so presumably not. Out you... You know what I was saying about these things being easier to get out? I take it all back. Well, whilst I'm doing this, I might as well fill the time by talking about how I find this thing as a whole. Overall, I quite like it. It is, as you know, being so limited to just handheld mode is a shame, but hopefully we're gonna solve that today, or at least find out if it can be done. There we go. Finally got the ready screws out. Yeah, the only thing is it doesn't fit in with the, if you saw a recent video I did about a grip for the Switch in handheld mode, it doesn't really fit in that, unfortunately. I think it's slightly wider than a standard Joy-Con. I don't actually, in fact, let's see if we can very quickly measure up, see if I can do it to the eye. I doubt it'll come through on camera. I don't know. It's really difficult to tell. And incidentally, it also doesn't seem to sit quite as well. It seems to sort of jam itself in. I'll probably show that to you later on. And just slides on like this. It's a little bit stiffer. Now, I want to be careful because... Oh, it's quite different inside, actually. Okay, well, that being there... that might be a problem with the battery. Well, let's have a look anyway, because we might be able to work around it or something like that. So let's undo this and cover up everything in the process. See if I can angle it. Is this gonna come out? Yes, indeed it is. Different place for you. And, oh no, that's it. That's the only screw in there. So, wow, that is quite small. I was going to show this in a little bit, but I might as well show you now. This is an official normal Joy-Con shell. I removed it in order to do a different shell, an unofficial shell, a while ago in a video, and I thought this would be a good comparison. So, let me just... so at the moment, is this the right way round? Is this the right Yeah, oh god, I got it completely wrong. So basically, that is like that. So that seems fairly similar, but we've got these great big chunks in here. Let me center them. How about that? It would help if I looked at the viewfinder. We've got these great big sort of chunks in here that are really quite deep. I'd say they're a good sort of maybe half a centimeter. So what's that? Like a quarter of an inch or something. So, you know, pretty substantial to say the least. And this obviously has none because the next bit, which goes on like this, like that. No, does it? I'm really, no, it goes on like that. I've really confused myself. No, it goes on like this. I don't usually open up Joy-Con this way, so it's completely thrown me. Anyway, so this sits on there like that, and obviously that is where the battery goes. And yeah, that is nearly as deep as that full stop. It's almost like they've done this on purpose, but it doesn't. I mean, maybe if you filed these down, but that's a lot of work. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's just see, although I think that's pretty much put a nail in the coffin of this idea. But who knows, maybe you can make it work without a battery. Maybe. Actually, I wonder if you could do that. If you could set it to draw power directly from the Joy-Con. From the Switch itself, sorry. Oh, that's interesting. We might be able to do that. So let's get in here and actually get in the screw. That'd be super duper. I've got a feeling this bit's a bit big for the job. Oh no, it seems to be doing all right. Let's get this little sucker out. Now that goes over there because that was separate to that one. I don't want to get them mixed up. How many are we looking at here? 3. Good stuff. The board especially is very different. Those rubber things I'm pretty sure aren't there usually either. So does this come off now or is there one more I've missed? There's one more I've missed. Of course there is. Ah! Do it properly. Come on. Off you come. La-da-da-dee, la-da-da-doo. I've done this sort of thing far too many times now. And we're going to have to remove that ribbon cable. We are. So let's just pop that off. I believe that's just for the... There we go. That's just for the... There we go. Oh dear, the camera's about to run. Oh dear, the camera sort of just stopped, as it does sometimes with my camera, because it can only record in 10-minute chunks, which is really, really annoying. And it also tells you how long I spent undoing the screws on the back, which was far too long. Okay. How does this look? Oh, yeah. They've done it again on this side. They've given this great big ridge in here, this huge chunky ridge. And it's nothing like it in the official one. So that's just not happening really, is it? What's this like underneath? Do you possibly, maybe if you filed all this down, but then I don't know whether this would sit properly because it's got these little ridges in here that it sits in. I don't think it's feasible. I just don't think it can work. That's a real bloody shame. Because I genuinely thought, I looked at it and I thought, oh, it looks just like a Joy-Con. Surely you can just take the guts out of one and put it in the other, but it's too different. It's too different. Let's have a look at it and see if there are any other similarities or comparisons. Well, I mean, this is a big one here. This is usually the central bit where the battery goes, and this is the Hori one, which is, yeah, it's quite a bit different. It'd also help if I held it properly for a comparison like that. So yeah, enormous difference there. But could have worked with it. I was actually hoping that I'd be able to use the back of this and sort of sandwich it together with the front of that, so it'd at least all be blue like that. Although it wouldn't actually be this bit. This bit wouldn't be used at all because I need this bit. But that's not happening at all now. That's a real shame. Also, let's see if yes! This is the minus button and it's completely rubberized. You see that? It's all rubber. And it's plastic on the standard Joy-Con. Now I've got to make sure I put this in correctly. Is that it? Is that it? There we go. What else is there to look at? I think that's pretty much it. That's disappointingly brief. Oh, hang on. We've got this. Is that just... How is that held on? I don't really want to force it. Basically, that's the capture button, and again, that's rubberized. That's an interesting choice. I wonder why. Maybe it's just to keep it simpler, or maybe it's a cost thing. I don't know. But, yeah. I wonder, actually. I wonder if you could replace the rail. Oh, I'm not going to do that. That wouldn't do anything, would it? In fact, actually, no, because the rail on the normal one's got to. I was just wondering whether you can actually just swap the rails and maybe get the functionality of the SL and SR buttons back. But actually, you wouldn't even be able to do that because it would be flush up against the unit. So you wouldn't... Oh, dear, I knocked the camera there. So you wouldn't actually be able to use it full stop, which that would be rubbish. Oh, well, seeing as it's here, anyone who's interested can have a look at what's different. One thing that is leaping out to me. Oh, I thought this was clipped on in some way. It's not. This is the ZL button, and it's just sort of resting in there. It's not actually. So how does that work then? Does it just have a button? Oh, it's this button here, I think. No, that's not it. No, it adds this button. There's just a little button there, and that's just presses that. That's actually a much simpler way than the standard Joy-Con, which is unnecessarily complicated, to be honest. But apart from that, this is really interesting. I wonder why they put these rubber bits on here, because obviously, I see that's just to thread onto here so that you can keep that in place. And that's obviously the contact rubber that makes the stuff happen. So let's pop this back in here. And I do hope all this still works after I've taken it all apart, especially ribbon cables and things like that. I'm always wary with ribbon cables because they are really quite delicate. I mean, they're not as delicate as you fear, I think, a lot of the time. But actually, it'd be really interesting to see if you could swap out the joystick there, the control stick. Although, to be honest, it feels exactly the same, and it may well just be a stock one they've bought from Nintendo. And this has popped out again. Excellent. So, I think we've proved that, you know, unless you had a really, really consistent Dremel, and even then, you know, things like even the ridges up here, see if I can get that in the light properly. You see the ridges up there? They are much deeper on here for some reason. It just looks like they've taken a lot of decisions to make them as incompatible as possible, probably specifically so that, well, it may well be that Nintendo didn't allow them to use the mold and they simply copied it, but then did some things to sort of reinforce it, like those ridges will reinforce a bit. Or maybe just because they had so much more room to play with because they didn't have the battery or anything like that in there, they just decided to, you know, just to play around and keep the structure as solid as possible. I don't know. But the result is that they are totally incompatible. At least for a quick fix like this. Maybe, as I say, if you took a Dremel to everything, then maybe you could get it to work, but I'm certainly not going to do that. I like this just as it is by itself, and as much as I would love to have a wireless D-pad enabled Joy-Con, I'm not going to take a Dremel to a brand new product that I only got today. So, maybe someone else will do that in the future and make it work, in which case, that'd be great. Be really interesting to see that, but I'm not the one to do so. So I suppose all that's left is for me to just put this whole thing back together, and actually this is held in with some little rubbery bits there as well. Can you see that? Just like that bit there. How interesting. Well, I say interesting. If you want to stick around and see me put it back together for some reason, then I tell you what, I'll do it after the end card and everything like that. But for all the people who aren't interested, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you take apart that subscribe button and sadly realize it is not compatible with your own subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye. Still here? Okay, well, let's put this thing back together then. I'm not going to be chatting nearly as much, and I'm not going to be looking at the viewfinder, to be honest with you, because it is too much like hard work for just so little something at the end. Oh god, my throat's been playing up for a while. If you wondered why I sounded a bit different, that'll be why. Water time. Much better. I've just realised I've started putting this back together totally wrong. Let's see if I can just slip that in there, because that'll be a lot easier. Come on, in you go. In you go. There we go. Yep, that's saved me a lot of faff, he says, as he can't now get everything else back where it should be. There we go, that's better. So yeah, just pop it back together. So how have you been? You've been enjoying your time? I think this bit is a bit big for this. But, oh, it's fine. It'll be fine. There we go. I was a little bit... I was a little bit wary with taking this thing apart, to be honest with you. If only for the fact that it's brand new and I like it. So I really did. I'm going to get a smaller bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy taking things apart and putting them back together, but there's always an inherent worry that you're going to break something. And I'm fairly confident I haven't done this time because I haven't been taking loads. You know, it's only the one ribbon cable I've been doing and stuff like that. But Yeah, on the whole, I think, come on. Do this properly. I just get wary, you know? I just don't want to damage my stuff. Is that sitting there correctly? Yeah, it is, yeah, there's a plastic post there that it's sitting on quite nicely. So let's just screw this back in. I'm getting pins and needles in my leg. Oh, that's not pleasant. Oh, that's not pleasant. Let's get this screw in and then sort my foot out. There we go. Oh, my leg. Oh, that's the problem with being at this funny angle. And I am at a funny angle in order to make this work. Also, you can probably tell working with natural light at the moment, simply because there's not enough room for me and the lights to be able to... I might be able to if I knelt down, but I'm not prepared to do that. I wanted to be comfortable and be able to do this because I thought I could be down here for about, well, 20 minutes to half an hour if the last one was anything to go by. When I looked at the SNES controllers and stuff like that. Right, now let's think about this. So that needs to go in there. Incidentally, what is the button that presses? It's just a standard button. There's no spring there at all. Interesting. Interesting just how different it is in comparison to... Let's get this bit. In comparison to the standard one. So that goes there. Is that right? Feels about right. Yep, there we go. That's sitting on there. Beautifully pop the screw in there. Let's get that in there. I recently actually upgraded my my car. Not in any sort of, wow, I know cars way, but in a sort of, wow, you're a nerd way. Basically, I just changed the stereo into one of those Android ones that you can get, the touchscreen ones, and it is lovely. It's made my 2008 car feel considerably younger. Right, those are all in there. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to very quickly... I didn't actually show you what it looked like with it on, did I? Well, I'm starting to talk louder, even though I really don't need to, because even though I'm leaving the camera, I'm actually just... I'm taking the microphone with me, because it's clipped onto me. Where the hell is my switch? Okay, I thought it was in here, but it's not. Let's go back through. Is it just... Oh, no, I know. It's in here. In a totally separate room. Let's take it out of this grip again. It's a shame about the grip that it doesn't fit in there. Take that Joy-Con off after the Twitter picture that sent some people mental. Step back into the zone. And there's my switch. So let's just put this back together. The rail's a lot easier to work with this one, rather than the standard official Nintendo Joy-Con. I say that as if these aren't official. The stock Joy-Con, the wireless Joy-Con. It does make me wonder how many people are going to be... how many manufacturers are going to be making their own Joy-Con, or whether Nintendo themselves are going to do some more or license some more. It'd be really interesting. I think this bit's a bit small now for these screws, or is it? Oh no, I think it's doing a good job. Yeah, that's better. It's better than the colossal one I was using before. Pop this in. I don't know why I decided to do this on camera. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't ready to stop talking, which is a bit me all over, really. I do love a good natter. Is that properly lined up? Yeah, it is. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll pop this on. I've got 2 screws left to do, but it'll hold together as it is. Incidentally, much lighter than a normal Joy-Con. In fact, it's so light I'm a little bit worried I've left something out, but I can't see anything around here. And just slides on like this. It's a little bit stiffer than a normal Joy-Con. And you turn this on. And there we go. I was in settings. And yeah, that was the... a lot of people thought I'm actually just in the browser. So let's pop out of there. The browser hack, as it were, and it just works like this. Assuming, yeah, it is working good. Let's turn the brightness down so you can see it proper. But loads of people have already looked at this and, you know, how it's working, so I just wanted to do something a bit different. So there you go. Oh, look, Monster Hunter Generations. Woohoo! I've been really enjoying that, so... Good, yeah, the stick's working. I've done it so many times in the past where I've forgotten to put the stick ribbon cable back in, and so it's not. That's rubberized. Is that working? Yeah, I can hear that. And that. And that. And that took a capture. Okay, there you go. I'm off now. Bye-bye.